Hello, and a very warm welcome to this video, Beyond Mind. Spiritual Awakening. It is estimated that a mere 10% of the human brain is active, which begs the question of what is limiting the expansion of the remaining 90%. To expand consciousness, the right hemisphere of the brain has to become more active and spiritually orientated in order to access the consciousness that is waiting to be expanded. This in turn will naturally activate the three higher senses of clairvoyance, clairaudience, and clairsentience. Here are some of my insights and experiences of going beyond mind. The primary function of the human brain is to receive and transmit the consciousness that flows through the two hemispheres, which are the logical left, which is orientated towards physicalities and is time-based, and the intuitive right, that is astral orientated and timeless. Both hemispheres are locked into the energy of consciousness from the moment of creation in the womb. But which came first, mind or consciousness? For me, consciousness comes first, because it is a frequency of light that is not held in the physical brain. It is the creator of the brain. For example, memory is an invisible light force that is held in the brain and aura. The aura is an energy field that maintains the life force of mind, body, spirit and soul between the universe and earth. It is directly connected to what I term universal consciousness, which is an extension of oneself into the universe. Every memory and experience you have ever had in all lifetimes is stored in the energy field of mind and aura. For example, when one remembers something or is trying to recall an event, the brain understands that you are searching for something and will activate the neurons that are connected to the memory field. Those signals are sent out through the aura into the universal field of consciousness, which in a flash of light relays the relevant information back to you in nanoseconds. In other words, the activity of mind is consciousness in motion, which is also held in the aura and the vast body of universal consciousness. Spiritual awakening. Going beyond mind will raise and expand the consciousness. The logical left hemisphere views and experiences the world and the universe purely on a physical level, which is polarized to Earth through its connection to the root chakra. On the other hand, the intuitive right hemisphere of the brain is the opposite and is wired into universal consciousness, which holds the astral aspect of the crown chakra. Spiritual awakening can begin when there is a small shift of focus in the right hemisphere of the brain, such as learning to trust by transforming any fears, developing one's intuition, learning to meditate, become more inquisitive, not taking things personally, and seeking greater spiritual knowledge. When such choices are taken by the initiate, the control that logic had over mind will gradually change as the receptors begin to accept what was before deemed to be false or was not believed. Here's the mechanism of how it works. It is my understanding that there are at least 7 levels of consciousness that humans are evolving through. Each one holds a specific light frequency that expands and raises the consciousness in accordance to the point of one's spiritual development. The 7 levels of consciousness in ascending order. 1. Logic. Logic is a thinking, analytical aspect of consciousness that is selective and structured, which are fundamental aspects of reasoning. Logic likes to have detailed proof to believe in something. It is good at working with practicalities and is time-orientated. Logic is the doing part of the human being. At this point of spiritual development, 2 or 3 chakras are partially open, which depends on the intent of the soul's journey. Two, intuitive. The intuitive is the observer and inclusive with openness. It shares from experience, is holistic and timeless. It is grounded in being present at all times and has the ability to explore the unseen and unknown. Kundalini becomes more active and begins to stimulate all chakras. Three, expanded consciousness. The door has opened to the study of the occult, spiritual and universal laws. The inner journey has begun in earnest and is now entering the 4th dimensional consciousness. In the process of enlightenment, it will at times fall back into the old habits or ways of thinking logically. At this stage, the 7 main chakras are synchronizing themselves. Kundalini has awakened and is rising. The 3 higher senses are activated, seeing the invisible, such as the aura, chakras and etheric body, become a reality. Four, higher consciousness. When the 5th dimensional consciousness is established, all 8 senses are permanently functioning. Greater enlightenment has been established, and the person is permanently present. 5. Master consciousness. The individual has evolved towards mastering their consciousness and is connected to their specific master, one of the seven. Six, superconsciousness. The individual's consciousness is limitless. They no longer return to Earth under the law of karma. They decide if and when to return under the law of service. Seven, universal consciousness. The ability to explore all dimensions within the universe and the countless other universes is established. One has truly become a universal child. Insights into what may happen when spiritual awakening is occurring. Beyond mind, 1. The individual's logical reality is physical and time-orientated, and has little awareness of spiritual universal laws. The life can be emotionally orientated or possibly heart-based, that touches upon kindness and goodness. Beyond mind 2 means that the intuitive right hemisphere is taking the first steps into trusting and begins to cross the bridge into fourth dimensional consciousness through meditation or other means. There is a realization of ego, and steps are taken to eradicate its influences. The individual will begin to seek greater service in the forms of healing and various forms of therapies. Beyond mind 3. The consciousness has expanded into the fourth dimensional consciousness. Positive changes begin to take hold. The realization and death of the ego takes hold. Meditation and realization of other dimensions becomes a reality. The Kundalini rising increases as spiritual development continues to expand. Beyond mind 4. The consciousness has been raised to access fifth dimensional consciousness. The three higher faculties of consciousness rising, clairvoyance, clairaudience, and clairsentience, are open and active. The individual no longer falls back into third dimensional thinking and living. Beyond mind 5. All senses are active and balanced. One is ego-free, meaning that there are no needs, emotional dependencies, expectations, and fear no longer exists. One is totally in the now. Beyond mind 6. One is present at all times in the fifth dimensional consciousness and receives guidance and teachings from higher beings and other dimensions. Beyond mind 7. Enlightenment has been reached. I trust that this video in some way may have expanded your awareness towards a greater understanding of the functions of mind, body, spirit, and soul. Thank you for watching and listening. Love and light, Ralph Jenkins.